Nigerians.
You see, we are saying the same thing. This is one of the things that I observe. You want to meet Nigerians, and then there's no framework, no platform.
Well, you can initiate that.
But why do you think the embassy is going for the umbrella organization? Look, let me tell you, it's a matter of attitude. This question of, I don't get information, please, people should stop behaving like children. Sorry to say this. People should be sensitive to the environment. I made it clear when we introduced the appointment system. I got feedback from my colleagues. Oh, why should we do this? What is... I said, look, the problem is if the French embassy, the German embassy, if they introduce a new policy, Nigerians here within 48 hours, they will know. Not their own embassy. I have said people should cultivate the habit of going to their website. Look, this challenge, you see, part of the problem is our perception. It is only the embassy's job. What is your own role as Nigerians? From the day I arrived here, I say it's a partnership. You can't expect to sit down and be spoon-fed. People should cultivate the habit of, look, this is why we made it clear that we're not disbanding any associations, be the ethnic, professional, state. And one of the major instruments we want to use them for is to reach out to Nigerians. That's why I've directed that, look, compile a list of all of them, their phone numbers, so that when we have information, and I can tell you, as Nigerians in Cork, every Waterford, where we've gone to Carlo, everywhere we've gone to, we've conveyed this message. Cultivate the habit. Write us via email. Write us letters. Phone the embassy. You see, people should stop seeing it as, oh, it is the job of the embassy. I have no role. That's not the attitude.
We all have a role.
Precisely.
We have to be the change.
You see, it's like the challenges we have back home. I've told people to stop, or it is their problem. It is his problem. It is our problem, whether we like it or not. Is it not our country? So the unfortunate people who have been killed, did anybody go and ask, where did you come from before they killed them? These people were just unfortunate victims of circumstance. So when we're addressing a problem, it should be a joint approach. All the groups here that I've told you, I've conveyed the same message to them. When Ogun State people came here, they were having their function, I couldn't attend, they came. I appealed to them, I said, please, when you go to that meeting, convey this message. These are things we're trying to do to improve our consular services. This umbrella organization, ask people to hook on to. When they, in fact, I'm going to find out after this interview, they should have put it on the website by now. So you see, people should take that step. We're trying our best at the embassy, but we need the support and assistance of Nigerians in conveying a lot of this information. It's a challenge that, you see, we have to make that effort. We shouldn't give up. Everybody should try to play his role. And I believe at the end of the day, we'll make a lot of progress. Yeah.
Yeah, the umbrella organization, when it does come into existence, I just hope that enough publicity is done about it so that people can know and participate in it. So, because I'm going to do my best to spread the word and like every other person I know, because so that to avoid that situation of being hijacked by a certain few. So I think one strategy is going to be to have a mass publicity about the fact that this is the umbrella organization that is recognized now. These are the people you deal with, and election will be done and everything, so that people will know that this is Nigerian organization recognized by the government and the embassy here. I just think that happens.
Precisely, that is what is going to happen. You see, as I've already mentioned to you, now is the time to hook onto the website. Go and find out what is in that document. It is everybody's document. Make your views known. Ask questions. If you think there are areas that need improvement. You see, people should also understand criticism to me is not helpful when you don't proffer suggestions. If you say you think this is not property, what do you suggest? That's the way to make progress.
Okay, you contribute.
So I expect Nigerians to take interest in this matter. And when we come to the threshold you are talking about, naturally, the duty of the embassy is we're just going to be observers to ensure that things are done properly.
That brings us to the issue of the consular activities at the embassy.
Yes.
Passport, We start with passport.
Yes.
What is the situation of passport now?
Situation of passport, there's been significant improvement from the time I came. You see, I want to break down some of the challenges so that people don't understand. My predecessors did their best. You see, there are certain things that are handled from Nigeria, and passport is one of them. You would know the situation here was very difficult before we had the electronic machines.
Mm-hmm.
There has been significant improvement to the extent that now you can get your passport in 1 or 2 days from submission application. For visa, I don't think there are any challenges. The problem of authentication of documents, like I mentioned,
that's
incomplete documentation. And I also want to explain birth certificate attestation.
Mm-hmm.
The Nigerian government introduced this law that if you were born before 1992, you will need to send whatever it is, affidavit, whatever document for attestation. That is, if you are born before 1992. I think many Nigerians have not gotten that clear. But after 1992, they expect you to have a birth certificate, I believe, issued by the National Population Commission. The problem I see is mainly a bureaucratic thing. And there's little we can do because these are functions that are not delegated to us. They have to be done in Nigeria. So that is probably one area. The major problem with authentication, like I mentioned, is incomplete documentation. Sometimes the phone numbers may not be correct, and then the addresses.
Let's stay on that issue of, I know that passports, people from what you say can get passport under a week now, if they have correct information, correct documentations. But the birth certificate, like you said, now there's little or nothing the embassy can do because it has not been delegated to them. But if they have to go to Nigeria, which are the offices that people can go to? Because that's where they get confused. Where do we go in Nigeria?
The National Population Commission has offices in all the 36 states.
So they can actually do it in any
precisely.
There's this wrong impression that it has to be done in Lagos or Abuja.
No. Please, I have found that there are National Population Commission offices in all the states of the Federation. And this law, as I've explained earlier, the attestation is for those born before 1992. Others are expected to have registered. That's a new law in Nigeria. So I understand all the maternity homes now, they have outlets so that once a child is born now, he's registered by Population Commission. Just like I think the death ones too, the mortuaries, so that we have better and more accurate records.
Okay. Now that viewers, you've heard, if you have the problems of birth cert, instead of calling people in Nigeria who do not know where you need to get the birth cert, the original birth certificate, you should just tell them that there are offices of the National Population Commission in all the 36 states. So let them go there, go to the office and make sure you get a certificate, a receipt from them that I want a birth certificate authenticated from the office, because the problem would have been that people just go to Nigeria, they go to Ikeja and have it stamped at Oluwole.
Let me even explain to you. I think what we need to do is unfortunate. You see, all states have what we call liaison offices in Abuja. I think what in the embassy will try and do is to get the addresses.
Okay.
Because Nigerians can also reach to their state liaison offices in Abuja.
Yes.
That is one of their duties. Like, this local government certificate of origin, they can help you to get one.
Okay.
So all this kind of information and that's about, they can also, in addition, contact their liaison offices.
Okay. Maybe I will follow up on that and find out from you if
because even many Nigerians in difficulty, I remember in Lagos we used to reach a lot of these people through the liaison offices in Lagos.
Okay. I know that when the Irish wants to go to Nigeria, they get visas under 48 hours. But why is it that no matter how credible Nigerians are who are coming to Ireland, they don't get visa within a period of, they are given, even within a period of 2-3 months, they are still fighting to get visa?
You see, let me use this opportunity to explain the visa thing. It's not as simple as people think. You see, visas are issues based on agreements. You understand? The starting point to understand is a visa is a privilege, it's not a right. Now, the issue you raise in my visa is an administrative matter. The Irish government had long made it clear that they require a lot of time to process these visas. Part of the challenges I've had to address here too, I've advised people, sometimes they are coming 2 weeks. And I told them, didn't they make inquiries? You see, it's part of our problem. We don't want to find time. We've had series of meetings with the European Union countries, with other governments. And I don't need to go into details. You know why? The challenges countries are facing internationally about all these things requires them that we give them some time to process these applications. That is not to say that we've not been talking to them. We've been trying to talk to them to see how they can assist. But I think the starting point is we should cultivate the habit of planning ahead. Planning ahead is much. Even here, I can tell you, sometimes when we've asked for documents, the reaction time is faster. But back home, we have pleaded, even my Minister of Foreign Affairs, I know, have made it clear that part of the complaints of many embassies in Nigeria is that we always give them very short notice and expect them, and it violates their own procedures. That's a major challenge. So people, even you may be aware, some of the organizations have come to me, I've told them, why didn't give sufficient notice? You see, they just assume that when they go, I told them, why? You don't assume that anybody who has been traveling in the last 10, 15 years cannot tell me he doesn't know what is happening.
Well, Your Excellency, there's another problem. You might be right, the way people put in applications for visas. But I have seen situations where people put in applications after 3 months, the visa is still not granted.
Let me explain to you. I don't want to go into specific cases. One, I do not have the information. But you must understand the principle I explained to you. A visa can be denied, and the country does not have to give explanation. So in visa matters, you have to be extremely careful. I don't want to prejudge. It has to be on a case-by-case study. That is all I wish to say about that.
All right, okay. Your Excellency, the issue of young people. You remember last time we were at the NIDO meeting, a young girl asked about encouraging the young people to embrace this idea of Nigerianness. Because being born in a country like Ireland and not having been here, growing up here, and you've not been to Nigeria, you tend to look at it as a distant place that you don't actually belong to. But I think there should be some structures put in place to encourage the young people to be more active as Nigerians in diaspora, specifically as Nigerians in Ireland.
I agree with you entirely. I was in Cork, I think about a month ago, and they had the Youth Week, trying to encourage. In fact, in Carlo, I guess also the same thing. Nigerians, young children who are born here, singing Nigerian songs, dancing. It is something I've always told Nigerians here since I came. I said, look, Nigeria is a free democratic society. You are free to live with it. However, I told them you should never, in my view, forget where you came from. No matter what you say. Even if you have an Irish passport, you came from somewhere. And I believe it is important that we try to maintain our culture, both in terms of language, dressing, the food we eat. It's important. Now, how do we do that? It's a big question. I don't think there's any clear-cut answer. What I would suggest is, let's look at this matter in one of our meetings. Let people bring up ideas.
Can I suggest one?
And you see, this organization, this umbrella organization, will be a useful thing. You see, like I mentioned to the various groups that came to see me, these are the kind of things that if we have an umbrella organization, we can sit down and say, even if there's one major event we're going to have in a year, it should be something like you are suggesting. Either a Nigeria Cultural Day or something. And this is what I'm talking about, rational use of time. Rather than the 15 organizations, everybody wants to have his day. At the end of the day, we dissipate our energy. You know, the youth issue is a very important thing. And I can tell you, you can see many other countries, they try to keep their identity in spite of the fact that they become nationals. They still make it a point of duty, even on their own, to regularly visit their countries, see what they can do, and they don't lose touch.
Your Excellency,
So,
maybe one way, like you asked one way, I can tell you I have one way that I'll suggest to you.
yes.
Maybe encouraging Miss Nigerian Island from the point of view of the young girls by the embassy. I tell you, I will bring a tape for you of the last Miss Nigeria. Every year Miss Nigeria is done. The major part of Miss Nigerian Island is about Nigerian tourism. Everybody, every one of the contestants come out to talk about a tourism potential in Nigeria. They have never been to Nigeria, but they are made to research a tourism potential in Nigeria, and on that day, in front of 600-700 people, they are made to come and talk about it. It's like they are asked that people sitting, just like we are sitting now, are undecided holiday makers, and you are a representative of a tourism agency in Nigeria coming here to pitch to them on why they should come to Nigeria for their tourism holiday. So that's what we do all the time. But I must tell you, situations like that, something like Miss Nigerian Island, for the young people, this is the 5th one, and it has produced intelligent young Nigerian girls that have never been to Nigeria. I think it needs a kind of encouragement to be able to take it further than where we have taken it to.
It is definitely one area I believe we can exploit. I share with you. I don't want to go into details of challenges that appeared as if though I'm giving excuses. But there are a lot of things that I share with you. You see, most of these events, like I've suggested to many Nigerians, it's good to go and relax. But you brought a very important component. Tourism is a major economic activity in many countries. Some of these festivals people see, it's not just the dancing and what, there's a major economic component to it.
Yes.
Publicity for a country, well-being, employment, what are we talking about? Something that would generate economic activity. You see, what we need to do, I think there is still, in my view, some communication gap, particularly with people at home. We need to understand, how to build a synergy. You understand? I have suggested to all the business people who have seen me here that one, I'm going to persuade them to invest, but the final decision remains theirs. And what does that mean? I said, look, if it means hopping to Nigeria for 2 days, go and see what it is on ground.
Yes.
You see, this hearsay sometimes does not convey the correct picture. I believe, in my view, that it would give you a better assessment if you are able to go to the place, visit some of these few agencies. And on the other hand, I've urged our own people too, that look, to me, the major road shows that will have the kind of effect we want are those who come to Nigeria. And I've emphasized that every activity we do at home is important. Whether it's a small-scale business, whether it's local government. Because there are some of these people, I can tell you, who insist they want to go and see our local government functions. And I tell our people, if we don't do things properly, that is the kind of view people will have of us. If it is whether service delivery at the airport or customs or law enforcement agents, we cannot hide it. People will come and see what we're doing. So let nobody think that whatever he's doing is so small. This is what can create a lasting impression on visitors who come to our country. So whether we're small-scale businessmen, whether we're students, whatever we do, we should understand that, look, it is not because I'm in one remote corner of Nigeria that it doesn't matter. Somebody may pick that with a camera and whatnot, and then goes and portrays and says, look, this is, or they were telling me this, but this is what. So, look, anything we do at the village, local government, it's extremely important. Because all these people who are encouraging to come to Nigeria, what are we going to show them? We can't go and hide some of the things and say they shouldn't see.
We, from the Miss Nigerian Island, would be very interested in the tourism area, and we're actually planning something for next year that will bring a lot of tourists here. So we will be letting you know of what we are planning from our own point of view, and whatever advice, even if it's introducing us to people in Nigeria who we can pitch to, and letting them know that what we're doing is important. That's already something. At least one thing people know, I know about Nigeria, is if there's something that says, okay, these people are doing something good. Every year we do Miss Nigeria. It's populated by Irish, and it's one event that people in Ireland look forward to because of hearing young girls talk so intelligently. And if there's any way that the embassy can introduce us, the embassy might not have money. It doesn't mean that the embassy should not, support us by a little sponsorship, but recommendation is far more important. Let's hope that, that will be done.
No, there is, like you mentioned, you see, I've also told Nigerians that you are the person to market yourself properly or not properly, because at the end of the day, it's not what you say, but it's what you do. So if you want to show that you are serious, it's not for me, or you know what to do. You understand? So that is why I say that all this confidence building we're talking about, believe me, the onus, in my view, rests on the individuals. How you present yourself, how you conduct yourself, and at the end of the day, how you pursue this business deal, whatever it is what is utmost important. And that is why I've mentioned to all these associations that we're not going to compromise the integrity of Nigeria. That anybody we discover is using this in a manner that would, dent the image of Nigeria, we will definitely step in. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Anyway, Your Excellency, we are coming towards the end of the interview, but before the last question, I just want you to quickly, briefly talk about the state of the nation, Nigeria, the security, Boko Haram. Do you think that for people who have not been to Nigeria for a long time, do you think they should be afraid when they're thinking of going to Nigeria?
You see, let me tell you, it's natural to have apprehension, particularly when you see things on television. But I can also tell you there are many people who have. I don't know whether you watched the South Economic Summit that took place in Asaba. I can't remember the name of the American professor. And when he was asked that in spite of all this negative publicity, why did he come? He said, look, even in the United States, even in Europe, I think he mentioned London and other places, it depends on where you go. That yes, it's not as if though he just said he had to go to Nigeria. You have to be careful where you go. Look, about security challenges, there is no question. It's a fact. But government is doing a lot in addressing this. You see, this matter is not a very simple matter. Government is addressing it comprehensively. You see, people should talk, yes, we're in a democracy, but should we allow people to kill innocent people and get away with it?
No.
Government is addressing the issues of this education. The Almajiris, as you are aware, one secondary school has already been commissioned. The youth empowerment programs, the poverty alleviation. Look, it is not as easy for government to take on. There are so many challenges. You cannot say you are leaving some and addressing others. But I can tell you that government is giving very serious attention to this security matter. We are collaborating with our neighbors, with other well-meaning countries. You are aware of the Convention of ECOWAS on small arms, light weapons, human trafficking, money laundering. Nigeria is in the lead. In West Africa, we have GIABA, the organization. Nigeria is in the forefront. So it's not a matter that people think it's a very comprehensive issue, the security challenges. I have traveled to countries where there are a lot of these challenges. The important thing is you stick to advisory. Don't go to this place, don't go to that place. And that is why even when we're advising people to go to Nigeria, like I mentioned, we link them with government agencies that know better about the situation on ground. We don't just ask them to walk into Nigeria. So there are challenges, but I can tell you the interest in Nigeria has not diminished.
I remember you started this interview with e-voting, the right to vote. We didn't actually talk about it. What can Nigerians really do what kind of persuasion, what should they actually do?
Well,
There is, you see, even through NIDO or any organization, what I've suggested to Nigerians is articulate your position.
Okay.
In as much as, yes, the embassy can add its word. I've told you we're a democratic society, from the state houses representatives to the National Assembly, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. Nigerians, I believe there's a committee on diaspora. In fact, that is a committee I believe should channel you. They would not take it to the House and advise what steps should be taken, because we require a constitutional amendment. And I believe that may also follow with our electoral law to be in conformity. Because you see, once you put in the constitution, that's not the end of it. All the details of how you are going to administer it, register people living abroad, but you need to have that legal backing. So what is the step? The step, in my view, is to get in touch with the National Assembly as well as the State House of Assembly, because by our constitution, 2/3 of the State House of Assembly must agree to any constitutional amendment, in addition to 2/3 of the both houses of the National Assembly.
So NIDO has a job to do.
So NIDO has a job to do, and Nigerians here too should articulate that clearly and channel it.
Yeah, the information will be put out
Right.
for them to know. Your Excellency, Nigeria is 52, and we have this culture of coming to the embassy to have a party and wine, but we didn't do it this year. Maybe there's for reasons best known to you, but maybe you might want to use this opportunity to end this interview by sending out a message.
Time for us for sober reflection, but one message is, in my view, which is important, is that we should contribute towards the entrenchment of democracy in our country. It is extremely important. It is really no news to say that things are hard and sit down there. What are we doing? We should look inward. So I would call on Nigerians in Ireland that let's put our hands together. Like I've always said, it is our problem. It is not his or my problem. It is our problem. And therefore, in addressing it, we should join hands together, support the government, and where we want to, criticize, let's criticize constructively. Naturally, there will be debates, but what we are saying is, please, let's have constructive debates. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's been nice talking to you, and we really want to thank you for agreeing to come on the show. And I know that Nigerians in Ireland and Nigerians all over Europe and Africa would be blessed with, hearing from you. And this is what we actually want, being able to communicate and know the true situation of things. Thank you so much for, coming on the show. Well, viewers, we have been talking to the Nigerian ambassador to Ireland, His Excellency Ambassador Felix Pwol. On that note, we've come to the end of the show. And until next week, when we come your way again, thank you and God bless.